We do have an attorney, Jonathon Raven, with Frazier Trebilcock, who's with us this morning. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning, Michael Patrick.
Maybe you heard.
You're up and at it.
Maybe you heard some of our questions there. Would it be very easy for the Attorney General, Mike Cox, to go ahead and have the deposition unsealed if he wanted to?
I think it's certainly doable if he were so inclined. We have to remember that the judicial process here runs differently than the political process, which runs differently from the news cycle, and it's very easy to blur them all. I am actually a proponent of the judicial process, and there are times that it can be eased along more quickly, and I think this might be one of them in the public interest, but there is still a process that needs to be followed. We are a government of the law, and when the political realities intersect, I think, and people are running for office, they've got to take a quick look at being transparent.
So how long would it take? Let's say he decided today he wanted to unseal the deposition. How long would that typically take? I mean, there are copies of it, right? His attorney surely has a copy of it.
Yes. Typically, once they are transcribed, which is generally available, if you want it to be transcribed within a day, it's very doable. So assuming that there are transcripts, it shouldn't take more than a couple days to secure that.
Okay.
It may well take the approval of the person giving a deposition.
So, well, he would have no problem with that, I wouldn't think. So it could be done. Here's the next question. The wife and father of Kwame Kilpatrick have asked a federal judge to quash a request to depose them in the same lawsuit. They say that they will invoke their Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination. If they don't want to answer questions about this situation with the party and the stripper, doesn't that further raise the specter that they have something to hide?
Well, again, this is where news and law intersects. The Fifth Amendment right is one of the most sanctified rights in our society. It's a constitutional right. Invoking it doesn't mean one is innocent, and it doesn't mean one is guilty. But it does create all kinds of questions, and the public sometimes sees through it. But, again, the judicial process seems to have worked its way with the Kilpatricks already, and I think it will continue to do so.
If the Fifth Amendment is there to protect against self-incrimination, I mean, isn't it obvious that you're worried you're going to incriminate yourself or perhaps her husband, Kwame Kilpatrick?
Well, certainly they are worried that they might incriminate themselves, but again, one is not allowed as a lawyer or a judge to take any inference from someone invoking the Fifth. Okay. In reality, people perceive it as hiding something. The political and news cycles certainly make it look like they're hiding something, but the way things work, people can say things that are misinterpreted, and one really needs to respect the Fifth Amendment right, but it doesn't necessarily keep people from being found and perhaps indicted or convicted if there are facts that justify that.
What about the manner in which this affidavit was filed by a man who won't come forward because he says he's afraid for his life? He's got legal problems, including breaking and entering, attempted arson, weapons violations. He's part of a motorcycle gang. Was the affidavit issued in a suspicious manner?
I don't know exactly how it was issued, but the credibility of a witness is always at stake, and past convictions for crimes is relevant to someone's credibility. Independent corroboration of allegations like this are usually necessary, and if you have one witness who has a checkered past testifying against other people, then this is what juries are for, or in some cases judges, to decide the truth of the witnesses and whether the evidence is such that it either in a civil case is a preponderance of the evidence or in a criminal case proves it a fact beyond a reasonable doubt.
Or perhaps in this case, voters, Jonathon Raven. Thank you very much. From Frazier Trebilcock, it's 35 minutes after the hour. Michael Patrick Shields back.